It has been an incredibly busy week for Xbox, and there are a ton of new Xbox Game Pass games that have been announced for both 2025 and into 2026. I have covered a couple of videos previously about both the Summer Games Fest and the Xbox Showcase, but I never actually covered the additional shows that also took place, which brought us some very cool Game Pass news. So what I've done is I've gone through and gathered up all 20 Xbox Game Pass announcements from the multiple different showcases at the Summer Games Fest 2025, and then put them all into this lovely video for you. So with that, my name is Fletcher, this is Xbox Nation, and let's dive in and see what lovely games are coming soon to your Xbox Game Pass subscription. First off, I wanted to cover the games that are still coming this year to Xbox Game Pass, and then go into 2026. But our first game today is coming very soon, and is none other than Grounded 2, and I was actually quite surprised when this was shown at the Xbox Showcase on Sunday. This one of course is shrinking us back down into that miniature form, but now in a brand new location named Brook Hollow Park. This one does include the main characters from the first game, but it looks to be a ton of improvements here, mainly being some additional perks, abilities, more building options, and a brand new story. And there's even now the ability to ride some critters, which was highly requested by the community of Grounded 1. This one though comes to Xbox Game Pass via its game preview state on the 27th of July. Of course, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 and 4 did make an appearance, and I'm not really surprised since the game does arrive onto Xbox Game Pass in early July. We got more of a look at what parks will be skating and grinding across, and even a new look at a brand new collaboration in the game, being the Ninja Turtles themselves. I swear, every time that I look at this game, there's always something more and more outrageous going on, but to be honest, I'm all for it at this point. This new announcement also brought us the Foundry demo, so if you have an Xbox Game Pass subscription, or if you've pre-ordered the game, you can dive into this demo right now, and you can get your heels, or should I say skates, into this game prior to its launch. Gears of War Reloaded is one game that I'm still pretty annoyed by, not because it's going to other platforms, but simply because I was kind of hoping for a Gears 2 or 3 remaster or remake, but nope, Xbox decided to give us another visual upgrade for the first game. That now makes it 3. Even so, the visual fidelity of this one is still looking pretty lovely, and I think many of us will enjoy diving into this game once again, or just trying it out for the very first time. Alongside the trailer that showcased the new visuals and extra features, we got the lovely announcement that we're getting an open beta for the game. Believe it or not, this beta is now live if you've pre-ordered the game or if you have a Game Pass subscription, and it takes place over 2 weekends. So if you want to dive in and squash some grubs or just destroy those PlayStation users, then you can do so right now. Annapurna Interactive really do have a way of choosing such incredible indie games, and Wheel World is shaping up to be another gem. This one was originally called Ghost Bike, but they did change the name halfway through its development, so apologies if there's any confusion. If you're unfamiliar though, this game is essentially a semi-open world adventure where you'll take part in different races and quests to basically rebuild your own ghost bike. The OST for this one is absolutely incredible, and I'm really digging that art style that the team is going for. We finally got a release date alongside this brand new trailer, and it comes to Xbox Game Pass as a Day 1 title this July. If you loved Little Kitty Big City and got the 1000 gamer score just like me, then you'll be happy to know that we're getting a massive free content update this summer, and it will be available for all of us Xbox Game Pass subscribers. This includes being able to customize your very own cat, you can equip them with brand new hats, there's also new friends for us to meet, and so much more, with the developers actually saying that it's stuffed full of surprises, and I expect we'll also get some more gamer score as well, which I absolutely love. I love this indie, I'm really excited for some brand new content, and it finally arrives sometime this summer. You may already know, but I absolutely adore Double Fine, and Psychonauts 2 is easily one of my favourite games from this generation so far. When I did see the announcement of Keeper at the Xbox Showcase, I was already sold. The idea of becoming a sort of sentient lighthouse, roaming the land and trying to figure out the reason for existing is just so bloody weird, but also so bloody wonderful and intriguing. Interestingly though, they have made a note that this story is told without words. It's a more third-person atmospheric adventure set in a post-human world after our time in the sun has long since passed. With what looks like some awesome platforming, a very deep narrative story, and your cute but annoying bird companion by your side, I think Double Fine might have another hit on their hands. This does come of course as a Day 1 release onto Xbox Game Pass, and none other than the 17th October. I know that so many of you are really excited for Ninja Gaiden 4, as I see it across the comments on the channel and also on my live streams, and honestly I really don't blame you at this point, as everything that I've seen has me incredibly hyped. I've never really been one to play the original games outside of Ninja Gaiden 2 Black when that shadow dropped earlier this year, but Ninja Gaiden 4 is really speaking to me as I'm a big lover of those sort of fast-paced hack and slash combat games. The developers have even come out and said they wanted to move away from that oversaturated Souls-like area and want to bring us back to a more action-oriented feel like we get in games like Devil May Cry. This one is still looking incredible every time I see it, and that future-looking Tokyo is just astonishingly beautiful. The release date is not too far away either, as it lands onto Xbox Game Pass on the 21st of October. It's pretty much certain at this point that Obsidian are having an absolutely astonishing 2025. I had fun with Avowed earlier this year, I'm really looking forward to Grounded 2, and then we even have my most anticipated game of this year so far, being The Outer Worlds 2, and it's coming this October. I don't know how the team over at Obsidian have really managed to make 3 games all at once, but this new Outer Worlds 2 is looking like a real step up for this team. The developers have made us aware that the new system of Arcadia is approximately 50% larger than the original Outer Worlds, and they've also made a larger emphasis on things to do and rewards for exploring more of this world. There is also so much more of an improvement to the combat, which was evident during the showcase, and there's also a much deeper customization element with characters, weapons, and so much more. I really cannot wait to dive into this brand new Outer Worlds this October, and I'll be keen to hear your thoughts on it down in the comments below. High on Life 2 was a game that I really wasn't expecting, especially surrounding the controversy that the first game held due to its creator Justin Roiland. However, with the team now doing their own venture and parting away from the previous creator, I'm really looking forward to it, as I felt there was so much more to this awesome and incredibly fun universe. This one though is introducing us to an all-new intergalactic conspiracy that really does threaten the fate of all of humanity. It is set for a release this winter, and we can expect a wider, more epic mission variety across a ton of different exotic locales, alongside a refreshed and fully loaded arsenal of talking alien guns. Even though we're getting some brand new alien guns, I'm still hoping we see the return of Let's Do It. I did look at the interview over at Xbox Wire as well, and it seems the team has gone really bigger and better than the first game, and I cannot wait to get my hands on it when it lands on Xbox Game Pass this winter. As the one more thing at the Xbox showcase, we did get the reveal of Call of Duty Black Ops 7, and I won't lie, I'm not really that excited for this release at the moment, just simply because we don't have many details or really seen any gameplay. At the moment, we only know that this one is set more than 40 years after the events of Black Ops 6, and actually follows the events of the original Black Ops 2 on the Xbox 360. Of course, the game will feature the likes of a campaign mode, the multiplayer and zombies, but interestingly enough, the developers have come out and made everyone aware that the campaign will be fully co-op as well. Obviously, we need to see a ton more of this new Call of Duty before we do get excited, but they have made us aware that we'll see more this summer before it's released later this year. Mixtape is still looking like an absolutely phenomenal indie gem coming to Xbox Game Pass, and that OST, well, oh boy is it utterly outstanding. According to Annapurna and Beethoven and Dinosaur, Mixtape is a coming-of-age adventure that's actually set to the soundtrack of a generation. It follows 3 friends who set out on one final adventure on their last night together. Basically, on the way to a party, a curated playlist will draw all 3 friends into sort of dreamlike reenactments of their formative memories, and then we'll have to experience a variety of different narrative vignettes exploring these pivotal moments that really shape them. It seems really cool in premise, I still love that soundtrack and the rumoured talents that are on board with it, and it comes out in the second half of 2025. Before diving into the remaining announcements, do make sure to subscribe down below for more Xbox content every single day, as over 74% of you have not joined this Xbox Nation. I am aiming for 100,000 subscribers by the end of this year. I know it's a lofty goal, but I would love for you to join one of the greatest Xbox communities here on YouTube. Thank you again for the continued support and the support that we've seen on the channel lately, and let's dive back into the awesome announcement and updates coming to our Xbox Game Pass subscriptions. I've always been quite a fan of Don't Nod games, and with Banisher's Ghost of Eden going massively under the radar, I feel Aphelion is going to be one that you definitely need to keep an eye on. The team really knows how to make story-driven games, and Aphelion looks no different. Climbing was mentioned quite a few times during the trailer, and remember, this is also the team who made the excellent Jusant, so you know those sort of mechanics are really going to stand out. To me, this is looking exactly like Jusant, but in space, but with a more incredibly engaging mystery, and I'm all for it. Don't Nod also confirmed that the game will sort of look to blend that exploration and traversal with tense stealth gameplay, and that we will have to avoid some lurking threats and uncover the haunting secrets buried beneath the ice. This one still doesn't come out until 2026, so it is a little while off, but I will keep you in the loop whenever we get an update. Spiritfarer is still a game that is held in such high regard by many who have played it within the Xbox community, and I have some very great news for you. The devs over at Thunderful are now making a brand new IP called At Fate's End, and it comes to Xbox Game Pass in 2026. All we know currently is that this is a gorgeous game that will cast you as a young girl as she battles with her family members. While the combat from what we've seen so far looks very fluid and fun, the interesting bit is that the skills that you use are actually tied directly to your own family. I have no doubt that this will be another incredible adventure like Spiritfarer, and again, I will update you closer to the game's launch next year. Well, seeing this next logo on screen now was a massive shock for sure, and I know so many of you were exactly the same as me. Yes, Beast of Reincarnation is coming to Xbox Game Pass sometime next year, and I'm still as surprised as you are. Bear in mind this is the same developer behind the Pokemon games. The plot of this one though does center on a brand new character named Emma, who's an outcast cursed as a blighted one. She's also then joined by her loyal canine companion known as Ku. Their journey does look to take them across an ominous, ever-changing world. As they delve deeper into the unknown, they strengthen their bonds, leading to the blooming of some strange new powers. The gameplay, as you can see, is more third-person exploration and combat, and the devs have also now come out and said this will be a Souls-like game. So if you do like this Souls-like genre, I'm sure you'll love this new release when it comes out in 2026. Indies are really becoming some of my favourite games of this generation so far, and I was loving my time when Planet of Lana was on Xbox Game Pass. Planet of Lana 2 Children of the Leaf was such an awesome announcement at the Xbox Showcase, and this is again looking like such a beautiful and emotionally resonant adventure. This one though of course follows Lana and her lovable companion Mui as they now face even more hostile robots and some pretty bloodthirsty wildlife. Upon doing a bit more digging, as I kind of wanted to find out more about the sequel myself, is that it's going to be over double its size in its breadth and its length, and that has me incredibly excited. They have also mentioned all of the good bits like nail-biting action, stealth sequences, and more, alongside some pretty nice great puzzles and some challenges. I absolutely love this indie franchise. I do recommend that you try out the first Planet of Lana, especially if you're waiting for this one to release sometime next year. Resonance: A Plague Tale Legacy was just unveiled during the Xbox Showcase, and it's not a sequel, it's actually a prequel. Launching in 2026, Resonance rewinds the clock 15 years before the events of A Plague Tale Innocence, and is centered on a young girl known as Sophia as she carves her path as a plunderer on the run. Her journey looks to take us to what's called Minotaur's Island, a place that's actually steeped in lots of myth and danger, where timelines will blur between the Middle Ages and ancient Minoir. We can expect to navigate some shifting eras, unravel the legend of this island, and then survive a deadly labyrinth filled with tons of traps and puzzles, all whilst being hunted. I hope we see some more details and gameplay very soon, but for now, again, this is another day one title to Xbox Game Pass, and will also be a Play Anywhere title. Some 15 years since Super Meat Boy, which is still widely regarded as the peak of the IP, we are getting a brand new entry with Super Meat Boy 3D, and it's been met with a ton of excitement and relief online. It's an exciting and ambitious version of Meat Boy, and very importantly, it's also not an auto-runner like the lukewarmly received Super Meat Boy Forever. The levels here look to be a mix of that sort of true 3D and flatter 2.5D segments, with some paths that will be overlapping and sprawling, and others presenting more linear left to right segments typical of the Meat Boy franchise. There's a lot of verticality here on display as well, with Meat Boy now navigating spiraling towers of horrible buzzsaws. Again, not much is really known other than the gameplay trailer that we were shown, but it is coming to Game Pass day one sometime next year. There Were No Ghosts at the Grand was kind of shrugged off by many out there, especially if you watched the Xbox Showcase, but I do think that was down to the weird singing and the dancing at the start of the trailer. However, upon looking at it a bit more, this is an utterly batshit crazy Lovecraftian horror game with hotel renovator and power wash simulator mechanics. I still really can't put into words what this game actually is, as it's just a mashup of different genres, but I really do dig it. I found out that you will take control of a young American man who will inhabit a dilapidated devastated British seaside hotel on the east coast, and you'll essentially have to go out and restore not only the hotel, but the village that it resides in. There seems to be some sinister happenings as well, and that's where we'll have to investigate, fight some pretty creepy creatures, and so much more. I love the premise, I love this uniqueness that we get from indie devs, and I do reckon this will be a hidden hit on Xbox Game Pass. We didn't get much gameplay and it was a rather short trailer, but Persona 4 Revival is officially real and it's coming to Xbox Game Pass day one at its launch. There was also no release date, so it seems very sparse for details across the board at the moment, but obviously this will be a remake of Persona 4 Golden, similar in vein to what we received with Persona 3 Reload, which is pretty awesome to see. Are you excited for Revival? You'll have to let me know down below. I have mentioned this before, but for me, the biggest highlight of the entire Xbox showcase, and to be fair, for this entire weekend, was the gameplay showing of Clockwork Revolution, and my word, inXile Entertainment are absolutely cooking. This one game really stood out from the crowd though, with a 5.5 minute preview showing us so much more of this steampunk RPG shooter from the studio behind, of course, Wasteland 3. It's got all the brash humour that I come to expect these days from inXile in the most ambitious looking game they've ever done. On the surface, Clockwork Revolution does look like an RPG-ified steampunk take on Bioshock. However, its combat looks very elaborate with its brass guns, grenades that shoot out bolts of electricity, and a magic glove that comes with all sorts of time-warping powers. The shootouts look to be no slouch as well, and there were some brief platforming segments where the time bending was used to slow down hazards and even rebuild some walls. I'm so hyped for this. We didn't get a date either, other than the slogan, "It's coming in due time," but I reckon we might see this sometime early next year. What Game Pass announcement or update are you looking forward to? Let me know down below. Remember to like this video if you did enjoy it, and subscribe for more Xbox content every single day, as it really helps push this channel out in the YouTube algorithm. A big shout out as well to our channel members for your continued support, and if you would like to become a member for some exclusive perks and so much more, then do click that join button down below. Whilst here though, why don't you check out the video on screen now, as I did cover the incredible sale going on within the Xbox store. More specifically, I highlighted 15 great games that you can grab for under £5.